Yes, good morning, dear students. Welcome you all to the next lecture of JCE Connect online series of lectures. We are studying the subject elements of civil engineering and engineering mechanics, and we are spending more times on solving the problems. So in previous classes already we have solved 9 examples. Level 1, level 2. Level 2 were a bit tricky. Few of you all had the doubts. Few of you all have done very well and solved. Few of you all have given me two options. If I take angle with x-axis, this answers, y-axis also same answers. I was very happy with that. Appreciate those efforts. I want all of you all to give yourself a push so that the things will be easy in the future. So let me come up with a question paper example. This is a level 3 example. I'm telling you all. And these are more than a bit tricky, wherein you require a lots of understanding. So in this example, what is given is 4 coplanar forces acting at a point are shown in the figure. One of the force is unknown and its magnitude is shown by P. Okay, so P is the unknown force and the angle is also unknown. The resultant has a magnitude of 500 Newton and is acting along x-axis. Okay, the thing what we used to find that is R. Okay, using the formula square root of summation fx square, which was x components, and summation fy square, which was y components. We used to find the resultant. But in this example, the resultant is given directly. Okay, the resultant is said as 500 and its direction also is given. We need not find theta also because they have said that the resultant is acting along x-axis, which is shown in the figure. So now this is the example. Now your brain should start running because you have done algebra, which was there from your school, where we had equations and unknowns. So now in this example, we will have to use our algebraic skills. Okay, and say number of equations equal to number of unknowns. Such things apply here. Now this is your basics from school. So the example is in front of you. What we need to find here? Anyone can tell me what we need to find?
Angle
Yes, angle theta and the unknown force
P.
P. Yes, unknown force P has to be found out, and that inclination, which is marked already, has to be found out. What is given to us? A resultant is given, which we used to find these many days. We used to find the resultant, but it is already given to us, and where the resultant is acting is also given to us. So it is completely application, application, and application. Okay, so we need to use our mathematical skills along with the solving skills to get the solution. So always remember, when you have two unknowns, the best possible method of solving is form two equations. Two equations will get you two unknowns. Okay, two equations will get you two unknowns. These are the basics which you have to remember. Then which two equations we have? Summation fx and summation fy. So now we have to use summation fx equation as equation number 1, summation fy equation as equation number 2. Solve those two equations to get P and theta. So conceptually it is simple. Addition, we have got R, which we got to use. R is acting along x-axis. Okay, note down this point. R is acting along which axis? R is acting along positive x-axis. So R is plus 500. Okay, so R doesn't have a component along y. It has to be also noted. R is purely acting along x-axis. So now let's come to the solution part. Again, I have put up the figure here. Now this is the soul of this problem. Okay, this is the soul of this problem. We know that summation fx is equal to rx. Means when we find the resultant, you have seen r is equal to square root of summation fx square plus summation fy square. Now what is summation fx? It is the x component of the resultant, because fx means the total effect of all the forces acting along x-axis. So I'll take summation fx as what? X component of the resultant. R is the resultant and Rx means the X component of the resultant. I'll take it as summation Fx. Similarly, what is summation Fy? R component of, sorry, Y component of the resultant R, because summation Fy gives us a part of the resultant which stands for all the forces acting along the y-axis, maybe plus or maybe minus. So this is the major step. Okay, this is a key step in this example. We know that summation Fx is what? It gives us the r component, x component of the resultant r. And what is summation Fy? It gives us y component of the resultant r. Okay, so in a sense, the equation of r is equal to square root of rx square plus ry square, where rx is nothing but summation fx, ry is nothing but summation fy. So this is the first important step you got to note down and understand. I'll keep the slides, okay, for few time so that you can note down the things also. Now next, resolving the forces along x direction. Okay, now we'll go for the same thing which we know. Okay, that is resolving. First, let us take the unknown force. Okay, first let us take the unknown force. So here what we have, summation fx is equal to rx is there. Now what is rx? Rx is the x component of the r, that is the resultant. But here, luckily in the problem, what is given? R is 500, which is acting along x-axis itself. So there is no ry component. This is one more important point in this example. There is no ry component. Why there is no ry component? Because your resultant is acting along x-axis only. Yes, correct. As resultant is acting along x-axis, it is given. We need not think. Okay, as resultant is acting along x-axis, ry has to be 0 because there is nothing along y of the resultant. So fx is equal to rx is equal to r. We can note it down directly. Only this case is valid as r is given along x-axis in the given data itself. R acts along x-axis and r is 500. So this is an important statement. Summation fx is equal to rx we understood first. Now we are saying summation fx is equal to rx, yes, is equal to r. Why? The resultant सिर्फ कहाँ act कर रहा है? Resultant सिर्फ x axis के साथ ही act कर रहा है. Okay, where is the resultant given? Resultant is given along x axis only. There is nothing of the resultant along y axis. Means further when we write the equation, now your brain should tell you. Okay, what your brain should tell you? If I write summation fx equal to rx equal to r. Next step when I write summation fy is equal to ry. What I should write is equal to? Further, nothing, 0, because there is nothing acting. Correct, that nothing is very important here. Summation fy is equal to ry equal to 0. Why? There is nothing of the resultant along y-axis which will come further. Now that is what is application, and that's where we are behind in the CET rankings. Many of my students, I find PUC instrumentals, physics, maths, basics are very classic. Percentages are above 85, above 90% also we have. But when it comes to application in CET, as we are not trained in that way, our rankings are going about 25, 30,000 and all. Okay, that's where you need to train. That is what is application. So now, summation fx equal to 500. I know it. Summation fx equal to 500 because r is given as 500. So now let us do the regular job of putting up the equation. Summation fx equation, I am writing all angles are with x-axis only. So first I am taking the unknown force. Now I'm not concentrating on the quadrants first. I'm going with the unknown force. So this component will go up and this component will come here. So this is plus and this is minus. So for this also, this component will go on top. Now this you all should know it perfectly. There should not be any doubts. This component will go here. This will be plus. So for this force, this component is going horizontally here minus, and this y component will come down, which is minus again. So this p component is going towards the left side. So p cos theta, both are unknown. P is unknown, theta is also unknown. But as the angle we have taken along the x-axis as per the given data, it will be minus p cos theta. Plus, now I'm going to the first quadrant. I have 200 at an angle of 45 degrees, 200 cos 45. Then coming to the third quadrant, minus 500 cos 30 is equal to r, because see here I have this statement here. Summation of fx is nothing but summation of x is equal to r. So I am equating this to 500. So in the next step, I am solving it. minus P cos theta plus 200 cos 45, putting on the calculator, I'm getting 291.591 is equal to 500. Now from this, I'll get the equation P cos theta is equal to minus 79.59. So you have to interchange, push that P cos theta to the right hand side, minus becomes plus 500, take it on the other side, plus 500 becomes minus 500, 500 minus 500 plus 291.59 gives you both, will give you the answer. Okay. So with this, I get my equation 1. There might be some mathematical mistakes when you are solving. Please do it correctly. Okay, in the solution, I think the sign might be here and there. Please check it out once when you are solving. Okay, so this becomes your equation 1. So now, again, I'll take up this diagram. Now, in this case, I'm coming with summation Fy. Okay, I'm coming with summation Fy is equal to Ry. And as we discussed previously, summation Fy is equal to Ry should be equal to 0. Okay, because there is nothing of the resultant along y-axis. So resolving the forces along y direction, we know that summation Fy is equal to Ry is equal to 0. So now let's come up with an equation Fy. So P sine theta, as I have marked in the previous, this is going up in the positive direction. So this is P sine theta. Then this will be coming down and this will be going up. So it will be plus 200 sine 45 and minus 500 sine 30. And this one more force is given, which is along the y-axis, which is going down, which comes here. It had no role to play in x, summation of x. Now it has come. So now we have to solve this equation. Okay, we have to solve this particular equation. P sine theta minus this. Okay, when you solve this part, you'll get this. So from this, we get the equation P sine theta is equal to 308.579. This becomes my equation 2. Now I have equation 1, which is in the form of P cos theta. I have equation 2, which is in the form of P sine theta. So I have two equations, P cos theta, one equation, and P sine theta, one equation. So can anyone with the common sense tell me how we can get the unknowns? What techniques can we use? Yes?
Squaring on
Elimination.
squaring and
Yes.
adding equation 1 and 2.
Correct. 2. Yes, correct. Very good. So when we square and add equation 1 and 2, sine square theta plus cos square theta becomes 1. We will get one answer. Okay. And when we divide equation 1 by 2 or equation 2 by 1, sine upon cos becomes tan. We will get second answer. So always remember, when you get the equations in the form of P sine theta and P cos theta, the basic steps will say that first you can use squaring and adding. Okay, so that one answer will get directly. And when secondly, you can do sine theta upon cos theta, because we all know from our trigonometry, sine theta upon cos theta is tan theta, and we can get the answer. So as you are rightly told, I am using those both equations, squaring both equations and then adding. So p square cos square theta plus p square sine square theta, I'll get. Now here what happens when in this p square is common? Okay, cos square theta and sine square theta, if you take, p square is common, which comes here, and cos square theta plus sine square theta is 1. Okay, we know this basic simple thing, cos square theta plus sine square theta is 1. Here what happens is p square, we'll take it out as common, and into bracket what remains? Cos square theta plus sine square theta. So it's difficult writing with this. Please excuse me. Cos square theta plus sine square theta remains here inside. So this both is 1. This is 1. So what remains? P square itself remains. So we get P square. Now how will we get P? P is nothing but square root of this. We get directly P as square root of that. So this is how we find the first answer. So once you form the equations, the key note here, key point in understanding is, what was the key point? How to use the R value which is given. So how we use the R value here? Summation fx is equal to Rx is equal to R, because R was acting along X axis. R was acting along X axis. So we used summation fx is equal to Rx is equal to R. We use that. And as there was no component along vertical axis, what we use? Summation fy is equal to Ry is equal to 0. And solved fx equation, equation number 1, fy equation, equation number 2. And when we solve fx and xy, we have two equations, squaring and adding, we get the value of p. Now, next what I'll do, divide equation 2 by 1. I'll divide equation 2 by 1. So when I divide equation 2 by 1, I'll get sine theta upon cos theta is equal to tan theta. I'm doing the division. So tan theta is equal to tan inverse of that. And these are the answers. Actually, this is also a very simple example, only it is application based, wherein you have to understand how to use the resultant R. Okay, you have to understand how to use the resultant R. Once you understand how to use the resultant R, finding the solution is not at all difficult. Okay, finding the solution is not at all difficult. So can anyone of you present here just briefly tell me how we solved the problem? And anyone of you present here can briefly tell me how we solved the problem? Sir, this was given, we used this. What I said now, can anyone of you repeat? Can anyone of you give a try? Yes, can anyone of you make an attempt? Don't go behind calculations. Calculations you'll do it anytime. Okay, these problems are more about understanding the logic. Once you understand the logic, you are at beyond PU level. Calculations you will be able to do. That's not an issue. Can anyone tell me how we solved the problem? Or I'll start asking. Neha Patil?
Yes, sir.
Yes. What was the different thing in this problem?
Angle and theta was not given. R result.
Our
R was
resultant
given
was
along x-axis.
given. Okay. Fine.
Along
Yes.
x-axis.
Along x-axis. Very good. Thank you, Neha. Muskan, can you tell me further things from where Neha stopped? Yeah, Hindi also is fine. No issues. Whichever language you're comfortable.
No, sir.
No. Okay. Akshata, can you tell me?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
first we
please go
need to
ahead.
take summation of fx is rx, summation of fy
Yes.
ry. Then we
Okay.
need to
Good.
resolve the forces along x-axis and y-axis for summation fx and fy.
Okay.
For
Good.
summation fx, rx and resultant is given along x-axis, so we need to consider r.
R. Correct. Right.
Then in the summation fy, the resultant is not given. Only we need to take ry.
Ry. Yes. And as the resultant doesn't exist along vertical direction, Ry is 0. Because
0.
resultant is giving along X. So by that we get two equations. We get equation number 1, P cos theta is equal to minus 791.59, equation number 1. And we get equation number 2, P sin theta is equal to 308.579. So we are getting equation 1 and equation 2. So once we get these equations 1 and equation 2, what we got to do is use our basic and squaring equation 1 and equation 2 and then adding, we get value of P dividing equation 2 and equation 1 gives us the value of theta. So this is how we got to approach this example. I'm not expecting everyone to understand it in a go, but understand the logic. The important logic here is to understand that as the resultant is given along x-axis, okay, as the resultant is given along x-axis, Rx is equal to R and Ry is equal to 0. Summation Fx is equal to Rx is equal to R. Summation Fy is equal to Ry is equal to 0. So summation Fx is equal to R, that is 500 we have. So plot your equation of summation Fx. The equation is very easy. Equate and get unknown cos theta p cos theta is equal to something, equation number 1. Second time use the equation summation Fy is equal to 0. Plot the equation, get p sin theta is equal to something, equation 2. Then square and add both the equations to get the value of p. Divide equation 2 by 1 to get the value of theta. So this is how we go about the example. So see here, these are a bit tricky examples, but once you get the liking, okay, and once you understand, the things are easy. So with this, I'll go to the next problem. Now
So
your
excuse.
application. Yeah, please tell me.
So theta is minus 21.29.
Yeah, theta is minus 121.29. So because see in the given figure only, yeah, minus sign is not there because in the given example itself, now when we see here, P is already marked here. Okay, P is marked here. Okay, we are moving in from x-axis in the clockwise direction. So it is minus. So that is, if you want in plus angle, you come from here. That is 180 minus theta, you get in plus. So correct. Theta is minus, so this is marked. So already as the direction is given, and here from x we are going in the clockwise direction. So angles we take, because this is quadrant system, we come in anti-clockwise direction, right? So here theta is with respect to x-axis. Now that's why it is minus. Okay, theta is coming from this axis towards this force. If I mark an arrow, this is like this. So it is going to in this direction. So you are getting a minus sign. And if you find like this, with respect to x-axis in quadrant-wise system, you'll get a plus sign. That's the only thing. So it's fine. Already as the theta is marked, so the sign doesn't carry that much of value. It is important, but still, as the theta is already marked, it is correct. But I have to mark it as Akshata you said. I'll put a marking of minus. Don't try also. Is Akshata done? Yeah. Okay. So this is the first example. Now on similar lines, there is next example. I'll explain you the basics because it's already 10:20. I think you have to log in for the next class. So now here the resultant is given with an angle. In the previous example, the resultant was given along the x-axis. Now here resultant is given with an angle. Okay, R is equal to 26 degree, and thetas are given in different form. They are given in the form of slopes. So the sum reads as 26 kilonewton force is a resultant of two forces, one of which is shown. Okay, second force they have not shown. One of that forces they have shown 10 kilonewton. Determine the other force. Okay, asked in the final exam question paper 5 times. Okay, same example has been repeated in the final exam question paper 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times this question is asked in the examination. So what is the catch in this example? 26 kilonewton force is the resultant of the two forces, one of which is shown. Okay, एक force दिया है उन्होंने 10 kilonewton है एक force, दूसरा फोर्स हमें मालूम नहीं, but what is the resultant of that forces? R is equal to 26 kilonewton. So from one side, you all start putting the attendance in the chat box. So now, that's what, when regular classes were there, what used to happen is we would have 2 hours. One class used to be of 2 hours. Out of all 5 classes, one class used to be of 2 hours. And in those classes, we used to solve these examples. So that's why we take more time here. Okay, so let P be the unknown force. Now P is not given. Okay, so I'm assuming let P be the unknown force which makes an angle theta with the horizontal. So this is P. I'm assuming that this P is there. Okay, it is not given. So I'm assuming that let this P force be here. Okay, and now R is given as 26. Now theta 1. Now see here how we calculate the angles. Angles are not given in this example. This is also a very important point, and such problems are asked regularly in the final exam. So we know the definition of tan theta. Tan theta is opposite upon adjacent. Okay, this is the angle. Okay, this is the angle, means if this is the theta 1 angle, here angle is given in the form of slope, tan theta. So if we want to find this theta 1, we got to use this slope, tan inverse of 12 by 5. Okay, tan inverse of 12 by 5 gives us 67.38, which is this angle theta 1. Similarly, theta 2 is equal to tan inverse of 3 by 4. Okay, so here this angle is nothing but this theta 2. So here we have been given the slope. So we have to use tan inverse of 3 by 4. Okay, tan inverse of 3 by 4 gives us theta 2. So P is an unknown, P is question mark, we don't know P. And what angle P makes? Okay, say we'll say it as angle theta, because these are theta 1 and theta 2. So this also we don't know. So now this example we have to solve. So what I'll be doing is, I'll end up the class now. Okay, this PDF I'll send, and this discussion we'll have in the next class. So with this, we'll be closing the problems. Some more problems I'll be sending you all. You can go through the problems and then come back with the doubts. And don't worry about the syllabus. It is my responsibility. I'll do it. And even if some other divisions are ahead, our division will plan the internals accordingly. So thank you all for attending the class. Hopefully my words will take them seriously and put a bit of more efforts. So as it is time